Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a little, I guess it's kind of late night coin store score. Thought I'd share some coins I picked up for a customer before they get sent off to the customer. It's kind of odd to get in such a nice little collection of bust half dollars, but I wanted to take some pictures and then they're going to get out to the customer probably tomorrow. So just wanted to share them with you before they got sent off into a collection. So we're just going to go through, probably not going to take too long. There's 20 or so. We'll just take some obverse pictures, some reverse pictures. If anybody's got any questions, you can always ask. I'll make sure that I can zoom in quite a bit. We can look real close, look at specific details of the coins or something like that if you guys got any questions. But basically we are just looking at some nice beautiful busts. Hello Johnny Kilo, how you doing? Vice City Man, how are you? So the first one up is in 1812 bust half. Let's take the picture and then we can look at it a little different. Let's see. All right, picture taken. Picture looks good. Let's get a little closer. It's kind of neat. Like right here, below the ear, you can see some extra like dye polish or dye lines in it. Can't stay long. Very busy week. Thank you, Johnny Kilo, for even stopping in. I appreciate it. And then if we come down here, you can see right here, there's some lines. It's basically from a... oh, hold on. My little daughter is going to bed. Night night, baby. Hi. Are you saying hi to everybody? Yes. Say night night to everybody. Hi. No, night night. Night night. Okay. Love you. See you in the morning. Okay. Go. Okay. Bye. Bye. Anyways, so it's from a clash from when the obverse and the reverse struck. This is part of the reverse you see on the obverse. It's pretty common. But all right, so we'll flip the coin over now and take a picture of the reverse. Get back out, get it lined up. We don't normally we get bust halves in pretty regular at the coin shop, but we don't normally get a collection of nice higher grade ones. So it's always kind of nice to get those in. And that one turned out good as well. And we can zoom in here and we can see again some lines. These ones would then be from the obverse. For those of you who collect silver dollars, there are different types of silver dollars. They call them VAMs, and for bust half dollars, they call them different Overton numbers. Those are easy to identify by different die clashes. Right here, you can see a nice die crack going from the bottom of the eagle's beak to the top of the feather. See if it continues. No, but that's what. One of the easiest ways to figure out which variety it is. You can see here the die is starting to crack all over the outside of the coin as well. So again, another easy way to tell the difference when you're looking up those different varieties. So that was the first one. That's a nice 1812. Put that back in the flip. Get it ready to go. And we'll grab the next one. What's the next one? The next one's a nice 1825. I don't have them in any date order. They are just however they are. And let's see. There we go. This one's actually got some pretty nice toning. Let's see if we can see it a little better. Well, maybe not. A little bit of gold, and this really is a little bit more like purple and gray, than it is just dark gray. It looks pretty nice actually in hand. I wonder how the picture will turn out. Let's see. Picture turned out the same as it looks here. Let's see with this one. Click on let's go a little zoom in on the date. On bust halves, kind of some of the rules for grading them. Right here is like a little brooch, and this one's a little bit weak, but there's an outer circle and then an inner circle. This isn't a very, this is maybe a very fine coin as it is, but it's still a nice coin. So you'll look there, you'll look at the wear on the hair above the ears, right here behind Liberty. And then if we turn it over, let's see, on the reverse, let's take our picture. On the reverse, zoom in. On the top of the wings, this is, it can be a bit contentious. It can be a weak strike, but when you start seeing wear on the feathers and wear on the outside, that's when you really get it. A lot of issues that bust halves have is the E pluribus unum. Little sections of it like this is gone. This has nothing to do with it wearing away, actually. It has to do with the dies being filled with grease, and it doesn't get in very well. So, like you can see right here, strong beak, but it's getting weaker over here, and just in just this tiny little area. That would be why. How you doing, Philip? The board? How you doing? And Spooter Doggy 2021. How you doing? So, yeah, there are different ways to see where the wear is to grade it. Just like a lot of other coins, the reverses on these coins are a lot nicer than the obverses kind of will ever be. So most of these types of coins are actually just going to be graded off of the obverse, because if you went off the reverse, the coins are always going to be a slightly higher grade. So the reverse can take into account a little bit, but really the obverse, if the obverse is what's having issues, then that's where the grade's going to come from. So let's see what the next one is. Next one's a very nice 1820. Yeah, it's a nice circulated strike. We do have one or two of them that were actually cleaned. They were on the inexpensive side compared to the rest, but it's still a nice grouping to have. And let's see, anything special. Let's check out the date. Nothing special with the date, really. I don't think there's really anything odd about this particular one. Here you can see on the clasp. Let me move it up a little bit more. Let's zoom in a little more. You can see the outer ring is there, and then part of the inner ring is kind of there. So this one's struck a little bit better. So that's a good sign. But I would still probably put this one at maybe a very fine 30-ish is my guess. I don't believe any of these will actually be sent in. These are just for the collector to attribute and then add to his personal collection. So let's see. Zoom in a little bit on this. Again, you can see it's weak here. It's weak right about here. On the top of the eagle, it's weak. We can check out. This is a good strong E pluribus unum. Maybe a little weak at the top of the S, but it's normally it's a couple of letters that would be missing. So, and then if we check around the outside, we'll be looking for die cracks, or sometimes on these you're looking at the feathers or whether the arrow tips are pointed or blunt. And those are the different ways to check for the overtons. Alright, so there's number 3. Put that one away. Grab the next one. Thank you for all being patient. I just want to keep the coins in their flips until I'm just taking out the pictures, and then I put them right back away. So this one's a pretty early one. This is a 1813. There's a bit of toning around the outside of this one. It's actually almost looks a lot better in hand. Oh, that was weird. Looks better in hand than on the camera, but either way, it's still nice. Let's zoom in a bit. You can see it's kind of a weak date, but it's got quite a bit going on. The stars tend to do this on some of them. You can see they're almost dragged out to the outside. That's nothing to do with like the coin being damaged or anything. It wasn't the metal drawn away. That's just how it was struck back then. Not 100% sure what causes it, but the stars sometimes are. You can see them just going all the way out right into the denticles. So yeah, so this one's a little bit weaker, but still, if we flip it over, it's still actually a really nice coin. There we go. All right, let me zoom in on the back. It does have wear. I mean, again, it's not a super high grade coin. Again, not another reason why it wouldn't be sent in. It does have a little bit of a stain here and a stain up here. These scratches were probably someone trying to either rub something off. Maybe they didn't like a little bit of dirt that was here like this, so they tried rubbing it off with maybe their fingernail, because these aren't really noticeable in hand. So, but under heavy light you see them, so it's probably more of a bit of a reflection there just on the surface. And again, you can see how it's drawn out to the outside. Oh, let's see. Spooter Doggy 21, he says you live in California too, but in the Inland Empire. Yeah, I'm in Southern California, down near Los Angeles. And if you live in the IE, yeah, over in the Santa Clarita area is where the coin shop is, where I work. So it's called Coins Plus. In case you ever feel like swinging in, you can say hi. How you doing, Aaron? All right, so there's that one. Let's pull up the next one. This next one's a little bit later of a date. This is after they went to the reeded edge variety versus the lettered edge variety. This is an 1837. It's actually quite a nice coin. A lot of the detail is left on this one. Zoom in a bit. Here's a really good version of the clasp, just to show you, you know, it's got the outer ring and then the inner ring, and you want to be able to see all of that to know you've got a really good strike. Even on the later dates, you can see the stars tend to always have some sort of an issue. Beautiful, perfect stars are kind of a rarity. It doesn't make it a rare coin, but just to have them makes them rare, where the stars are actually quite beautiful. You can see this coin's got a lot of original surfaces. The ears mostly all there, barely just little hints of wear on them. Same with the cheek, just little bits of wear. It's not an uncirculated coin by any means. It is an AU coin, probably a 53, somewhere around there. So it is nice. I don't believe it was cleaned. It is just dark. So, and then on the reverse, let's see, picture, and the reverse. Again, you can see just a bit of rub, and then just a bit of rub on the eagle as well. Those are the highest spots on the reverse of the coin. Again, making it not a mint state coin. But you can see United States of America, the E pluribus unum, the banner part is not there. Looks like a little bit, yeah, that's possibly an old scratch. But as you can see, it's toned along with the coin, so it's definitely older. It's not a new thing. I don't think they would take that off of the grading. I think it would probably still would grade properly, but I'm not 100% sure. Either way, it's it is a higher grade coin for what it is. Let's see, you live above Glendale. Yep, I live just above Glendale. That is correct. The next one's kind of nice, but almost all 1834s are actually quite pretty. It's a date where you can get a relatively high grade for, a really, really nice AU, even certified for around the $500 range. So if you're going to go after one and you just want a really nice, decent graded one, 34 is a pretty good year to get. Again, you can see the two circles in the clasp. The ear is there. The hair is starting to get worn down. That being the highest part. All the cloth goes around the bust. These stars are actually pretty nice, but obviously, again, you still don't see all the parts going in. So stars are normally not the best factor. You can see it here when we zoom in. There's toning on this, and some of it shows up, some of it looks a little gray, but it's actually it's more green and purple in hand. Yeah, here you can see how the stars are. These are, again, relatively decent stars. If they all always look like this, it would be awesome, but they don't. Alright, so let's zoom out. Yeah, we got a good one of the obverse. Let's take a picture of the reverse. Zoom in and check on this one. Again, a little bit worn down on the feathers there and over here. That's what makes it not an uncirculated coin. I think only one coin that I have is uncirculated, and if it's not uncirculated, it's probably AU58. And that coin I'm actually not going to show today, because the customer already has one of those. So that is going to go into a separate video for a PCGS submission. So we won't see that, but not right now. But it's actually a really fun one. It's what is it? It's an 1836 over a 1336. So yeah, it's kind of a cool overdate. But we will see that one at a later time. Alright, next we got 12 or so left, I think. Ooh, this This is a nice 1817. Oh, how about I zoom out first? Fine. Wow, that's overexposed. There we go. Alright, 1817. This one here might have a light cleaning. Actually, I think it does. You can see the original surface is kind of still below the stars, but you can see out in the fields and on her that she kind of got a little bit of a cleaning going on. Again, you know, it's what, 203 years old. It's bound to have some issues if it's not in really good condition, but it's not, these aren't horrible issues to detract completely from the coin. It's got a nice, again, a nice clasp. You can see the hair is worn. It's got all the little normal pocket marks and hit marks that you'd expect. The stars are actually pretty nice, but still go over into the denticles. Let's check out the reverse. Picture of that. And I mean, most of these have the same thing. They're all, you know, at the low end is going to be like very fines, extra fines, and AUs. So they're all going to have their little minor issues. Nothing real crazy, just a little bit of wear. Let's look down below. Yeah, I was hoping to see one. I don't remember if I saw one that had some really good die cracks. Some of the die cracks go all the way around the whole outside of the coin, like the die was just about getting ready to shatter. So that stuff's always kind of really neat to see. All right, so that's an 1817. Let's see what's next. Ooh, this one's a real treat actually. This is an 1829. There we go. All right, let's snap a picture of that one. Where's it at? There it is. All right, we got a picture of that. Now we can zoom in. We can see. The clasp is kind of weak, but you can actually see everything there. There we go. There's very little wear on this coin at all. I mean, the denticles are still very strong. The date, very solid. It does have some toning around the outside, but it's minimal. It shows up here a lot better than it actually does in hand. It's just very small. But you can see I would call it more of a weak strike because there's very little wear elsewhere, but these areas are still flat, so they didn't get struck 100%. Now they still have wear on them because they're a different color. You know, this has very little wear in the cheek, but this here, you can tell it's just a different color because it's slightly toning. It's been touched. It's been in a pocket just a little bit. You can see some extra dye polish lines in between the curls of the hair. So, you know, that's overall, it's probably one of the second or third best coins of the group. It's just super, super sharp, super, super nice. And then the back, once we take a picture, we can zoom in on the eagle's feathers. You can see how strong they actually are. So, yeah, you can see almost everything, and just the tippy tops of all these feathers again have just little bits of wear. The shield has almost no wear, maybe just a hair down here. Again, on the top of the eagle's feet here, everything else is really strong, so this is probably a bit of a weak strike at this point. You know, they still have a little bit of a touch on them, but just not much. You can see this is the 50 with the large cent. You can see how big this C is. This C is oversized for this area. It basically goes all the way up and into the stem. So that right there would help guide the person to which Overton it is going to be. So, which helps a lot. Again, let's see. I wonder if is that a hit or an extra piece of metal. That actually looks like a little bit of an extra piece of metal. That's interesting. It doesn't actually look like a hit. It looks like it's got a, yeah, you can see how if I move it, it's got a bit of a shadow. So I'm sure, wow, that's weird. There we go. I'm sure that'll help them figure out which one it is as well. I don't tend to look these up for the store for Overtons, basically because they don't add a huge amount of value to them, even though there are some that are rare and some that are extremely valuable. It just doesn't seem to add enough to make it worth the time to go through every single one. And it's more fun to get them in the collectors of the hands at a good fair price. And if one of them's fantastic, well, then they're just going to keep coming back and buying the coins. You know, that it's a good thing. We don't have to milk every single dollar out of every single coin. It's just not necessary. So, all right, here we go. We get a nice 1830. Take a picture. We'll zoom in. Nice clasp. You can see a little bit of wear on her cheek, wear above the hair on the ears, behind the ears, below the Y in Liberty. Let's come down, take a peek at the date. The date, nice and strong. Stars are like the normal stars, nice and flat. Be nicer if they were better, but it's still a very nice coin. It's probably an XF. That's definitely an XF. I don't know if it would quite hit AU, but it's pretty close. It's a really nice coin. Then we'll flip it over. Let's take a peek at the back. Maybe that'll make the decision for us, whether it's got the chops to make it all the way there. Alright, let's zoom in. I think I see some. Yeah, it's weak up here, so it wouldn't go to AU. It would probably be a XF45 is my guess. Little bit of toning around the outside in hand. Looks a little bit more brown, but it's actually a little bit golden in hand. So, but it's overall it's a nice coin. Yeah, let's see. How about let's check out? You can see it's a little bit. It's strong here, but the at the end of the R, the I, and the B, that's kind of getting weak. So that's on its way to getting filled. So that might be a way to tell the difference in the Overton itself. So another nice one. What do we got? Let's see. Let's count. 1, 2, 3. We have 6. Yeah, 6 left. 6 of them left. And it's not that we're saving the best for last or any of that stuff. We're just going in order for what they are sitting here on the table. Alright, here's a nice 1833. This one again is really sharp. And if we zoom in, you can see the full clasp is there. Little bit of wear above the ear and behind the ear. The cheek has just that little bit of discoloration again. Now, of course, we're zoomed in so much. Every little, if you see all these little scratches, some of this stuff is dye polish from when they're polishing the dies. Some of it is, again, these are not mint state coins, so they're going to have a little bit of pocket wear and stuff. And that's not going to be all the prettiest thing in the world, but they are nice. So, and you know, we normally kind of go off of when we're grading them and selling them at the store. We just go off of, you know, what the coin is. It tells you everything about it. And we use a 10 power loop. We don't go any higher. There's no reason to get all crazy because you look into something too close, it's just you're never going to find anything perfect. So. All right, there's the obverse. Let's check out the reverse. And we can zoom in. Again, we can see almost all of the feathers here. Very nice strike, just a little bit of wear at the top. On the eagle's brow, you can see some wear. Here you can see that the R is getting weak. The I is just barely there. The B is just barely coming back, and then the U is weak as well. You know, it's missing. Even the top of the S in E pluribus, that looks to be filled in a bit. So that part's missing. These old coins, they really didn't have the huge amounts of quality control that we have kind of today to try to keep them perfect. So you can even see the 5, kind of a funny pointing looking 5. But again, all those differences are what helps the collector figure out which Overton it is and, you know, where to put it in their collection. So, and if you ever do want to collect these, you can get the Overton book. It's a pretty extensive book. It's got like a gray cover. It's probably 400 or 500 pages, because some of these dates from 1794 all the way through. I think the Overtons only go up to 1836 with the lettered edge. When it gets to the reeded edge, I don't think it shows the varieties in there, but some of them have 30 or 40 or 50 different die pairs that happened, or die stages that happened during the minting process. So that's, and people try to, you know, gotta collect them all, kind of like the Pokemon thing. Try to get them all if you can. All right, so nice, super strong clasp. This one does, it's really nice detailed coin. It does seem to have a little bit of, I want to call it toning, but it's also almost maybe just a bit of debris, maybe a little bit of dirt. If this were getting sent in, it would probably be a good candidate for conservation, so they can get whatever little pocket grease or whatever that is in between the stars and the letters and stuff out, and this little black stain on her cheek out or something. But I don't, last time I checked, that specific collector, again, he likes his coins raw. He buys the certified ones, but he prefers them to be raw. So that is the obverse. Now let's take a peeky at the reverse. Not too shabby again. It's getting weak on the feathers, weak above the brow of the eye, and then even over here on the edge of the shield, you can see that's starting to get a little bit worn down. Let's check out. And again, let's see, this is weak L. The U is almost completely gone. Half of the R is gone, and then it gets back at the I and E pluribus. So you can see there are different parts of the words on different dates that fill in. So, and then let's come down, take a peek at the 50 cents. Anything special? No, because there are a lot of different varieties down here that are actually kind of neat to see. But this one just appears to be kind of normal. All right, 4 left. Next up is another 1834. I do believe this is a different variety as the last one. I think the last one was large date. I think this is, or the last one was maybe a small date. This is a large date. But this isn't, there are quite a few 1834 varieties, so it's pretty easy to need a lot of them. Nice solid clasp. Again, weak. I mean, on most coins, you can just keep seeing all the same things. Weak above the ear, weak behind the ear. But you can see she's still got nice strong lips, strong eye. Come down, we can check out the date. The date is nice. This isn't a scratch on the coin. This is definitely a little bit of a die gouge, probably. That's not even polishing. That's probably a bit of a die gouge. That looks like a little bit extra of a 4, but I wouldn't call it an extra 4. It's either like a mechanical issue as part of the pressing, or if it's a 4 over a 4, it's just a little, when they were punching in the 4, it was just a little bit of slippage. It's not, I don't think this is an overdate by any means. So overdates really need to be drastic to actually be considered an overdate in my book. There needs to be 2 separate things there. Farmer John, how you doing, sir? Mr. Duff. Alright, so I think we took a picture of the obverse, that one. Now let's take a peek at the reverse. Alright. And camera. And, yep, again, same, weak feathers, weak above the brow. Let's check out the pluribus. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. And let's check out the 50 cents, the bottom. See how that's doing. You can see right here there's a little something below this 5. I don't know what that would be. Let's take a peek. What year was this again? In 1834. Whoops. Let's get that back into frame. Let's move it into frame where it was. Huh. I wonder if there's like an 1834. I wonder if that's like a... Because it doesn't come down. It just goes that way. I wonder if there's like a... It goes that way, then this way, and then around. I wonder if there's like a 5 over a 3 or something variety. I guess I could always check on my cell phone. PCGS Coin Facts does have quite a few of the better ones. They don't have everything, but they do have the better ones. So let's look here. Let's go here. To 1834. I think this was the large date. Nope. Yeah, it's just saying large date, large letters as varieties. It's not showing anything over. So if it is what it is, it would just be an Overton. It's not a major variety. Again, thus not adding any real expensive added value to the coin. It's one of those things that's neat, but it doesn't add a huge amount of value. So I'll have to see if the collector can actually tell me if that happens to be well, it's not an overdate. I guess that would just be an over number on the 50 cents. So I'll have to see if he can tell me about that once he gets them. Now, yes, that is... Oof, that's rough. That's a little better. This is definitely cleaned. This is cleaned and even polished. It does look like it was probably put into a book. You can see some toning starting around the outside, and maybe another 150 years in a book, it might hide that toning a little bit better. But, yeah, that's rough. It does... let me take the picture first. It does have some nice detail left on it. It's not like it's a horrible coin. You can see a solid clasp, the hair and everything, but somebody tried polishing it. You can see down here some of the original luster, but everywhere else, the super white part, not the yellow part, but the white part is just polished. And you can see all the lines. They did not use a nice item or substance to do so. They didn't clean it to just get some gunk off. They cleaned it to get like the top layer of silver off, to get whatever was there away and make it shinier. So, which is too bad because you can see underneath it's still a really nice coin. And again, that's just a reason why you shouldn't clean coins. So that probably cut the value of this one not even in half. Probably it lost probably 2/3 of its value just because of the cleaning. It's a nice coin, but it's not. It loses a significant value when that happens, because at that point the coin's damaged. It's going to be a harder coin to sell unless you can overton it and the person knows they need it. You can't slab it because it's just going to come back clean, but you already know it's cleaned, so there's no point in slabbing it. You can only just go off of the grade, and then because it's cleaned, you basically have to knock off at least one full grade. And I don't mean like 1 point. I'm talking if the coin's an extra fine, you're going to take it down to a very fine, and then that's where you start. And then if there's any other issues, then that has to be addressed as well. So if this had scratches on it, that would also take it down, again, making coins significantly harder to sell because of certain things. Let's see. As you can see here on Pluribus, the half of the L, and then you only see just the part of the R, and the U. All this is missing. It's all completely filled in, and you just see the bust at the end. So again, that would be a pretty easy one probably to overton just because of something like that. Let's check down here. 50 cents. Anything special down here? Nope. Looks normal. So it still has a ton of the detail. You can see the ton of the feathers and all that. But it's not all this. You see it, at least on my screen, it looks red. I don't know if it looks red on your screen. It's not actually red. That's just how the light is reflecting on the coin. It's kind of weird. So, yeah, detail is there. Just wish somebody had not polished it, because that would be a really nice and expensive coin, and it's not, specifically because of that. So, which is a bummer. All right, 2 coins left. We'll do the 27. And then we will end with a really nice 1834. So, all right, here we go. Here's an 1827. Now, this one is interesting. Let me take the picture. In person, it looks a little different. This one, we can zoom in a little bit. Again, and as you can see right here, now it does have some wear on it, but I think this one actually was cleaned as well. A long time ago. It has recolored basically everywhere else. And then probably in the last collector or the collector before that, they might, depending on how they stored it, it came to us in a plastic flip, but that doesn't mean it wasn't stored in like a paper, like one of the little tiny square 2x2 paper envelopes, because this has a little bit of wear. This has a little bit of wear, and that's just the high spots. So that's what would have worn off, and then those tend to have a little bit of sulfur in them, which help actually retone the coins. You can see down here below the 1827, this is a scratch. This is not part of the coin. Down here, it follows the letters, so I don't know why, or the numbers, sorry. I don't know why someone would have done that. Again, a little bit of a detractor from the coin. Right here below the 8 is a bit of a rim ding. I mean, it's a very small ding, but it certainly is poignant. You see it when it comes out. So these are all negatives to the value of a coin. It can be a certain grade, but you want the coins to not have issues with them as well. So these all lead to making the coins less expensive necessarily. So, all right, so let's flip this one over. Show you the reverse. The reverse is nice and strong. There we go, picture's taken. Let's zoom in. Again, there's this odd scratch that followed the eagle. This is not done by the mint. This is a scratch in the coin. Why it's like that, no idea. I have no idea why somebody would have done that. It's not a normal thing. I've seen people carve their names into it, letters, dates, all sorts of things. But why they did certain places where it looks like they scratched along, you know, like they were trying to outline part of it, I don't know. I couldn't tell you why. Nice, strong E pluribus unum. Again, weak on the feathers and above the brow, but it's a really nice coin. Other than the couple little scratches, I think, and the old light cleaning that it got back in the day. So, other than that, nice coin. Happy to have been able to purchase it and move it on to a collector who's, you know, actually working real hard on trying to get a really nice collection of the bust half dollars. So, and again, we're going to end it with a really nice 1834. Let's be a little gentle with this one. Yeah, this one is really nice. All right, there we go. Let's take a picture. Take a picture. There it goes. All right, now we can zoom in. Solid clasp. You can see it. It appears to be worn above the ears and stuff, but you can see there is a little bit of wear on the cheek, but it's only a little bit of wear. It's flat. It's not completely worn down. You can still see all of the mint luster in all of the crevices here in the bow, there, all along here. It's not a worn out coin. It's actually a very strong coin. Light toning around the outside, lots of original luster in the coin, definitely not cleaned. Down here, beautiful 1834. I believe this is the small date, and as you can see, it's just a really, really nice strike. The stars are actually pretty darn decent as well. And we'll flip it over and check out the back. Picture. Come on, camera. There we go. We can zoom on in. Again, I think it's more of a weak strike because you can see how weak it is right here, like it's been worn down, but look how perfect and beautiful these feathers are. There's not a bit of rub even on them. Here at the top points, a little bit of rub. Here on the beak, a little bit of rub, and above the eye, there is a little rub. I don't believe this coin would go mint state. But I think it would have a solid shot at an AU58. Oh, hey, Randy, how you doing? When you say Overton, is that basically... Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Randy. Sorry, I'm just seeing your thing. I've been looking at the coins. That's the different die stages or the different die pairings. You know, because sometimes only a reverse would break, so they would put a new obverse with the same... new obverse with the same reverse, so... Yeah, oh, that looks straight out of Nightmare Before. Yeah, love those stars. When they're nice, the stars are good on these things. Other than that, not so much. But you can see all around the outside, strong denticles. You know, they don't really have any wear on them. A little bit of toning just slightly around the outside. This coin was well kept and put away somewhere. I mean, the feathers are just stunning. Even on a coin like this, you can even see how it starts out real on the P and the L and the U. It's a real deep start of pluribus, but in the middle, the R and the I and the B, it gets kind of weak. Even on that, they're full. The top of the S is missing, so that's an issue. But it is a really, really, really nice coin in hand, and really, really, really not cheap. So... this was definitely one of the more expensive coins in the grouping. Kind of glad it got saved for last. So that's basically it. I wanted to just share a whole bunch of cool bust half dollars with you guys before I sent them off to the collector, and well, I'll probably never see him again. So it just, you know, it's nice to be able to work at a coin store and see some of this stuff and have the opportunity to come home, share it with people, because a lot of times unless you go to a really large coin show or you hit a couple of large coin auctions, it's hard to come across a grouping of bust halves like this. So yeah, that's basically about it. Farmer John, nice. Thank you, Farmer John. Shane, the feathers are weak in places and strong in areas. Yeah, a beautiful, perfect one is going to cost a very, very significant amount of money for the coins. So these are just good. They do they fit into this guy's collection apparently pretty well. He's quite happy with the pictures that he got sent with of them. So yeah, he bought literally every single one that came in that he needed. We still have about 8 or 10, but they're not high grade ones. They were lower end ones, but they're still in stock at the store. We're getting them flipped up, and they'll probably be out for the regular public in the next couple days. So if anybody's in the local area and wants to come on in, they can certainly come on in and hang out, check out the store, buy anything. If you guys need anything, you guys can always shoot me an email and ask, and if I can get it to you, it's basically whatever the store charges, and I'll charge you shipping it, because I do it more for the fun of it and the hobby part of it. It is my job, but it's kind of fun. So just a horrible looking bust dime. Oh, maybe we'll have to fix that, Randy. Maybe I'll see about picking up one of those bust halves and have Mike put it in one of his next auctions, because the lower end ones, they're going to start at $35 to $50. They're not horribly expensive. They're not amazing looking, but they do still look good for what they are. So and they don't have to be a very expensive coin for a nice tight piece. So appreciate you guys coming in. I know Mike has been over streaming on his channel, but I thought I'd sneak this in real quick, even though it appears to have been 52 minutes long. So I guess I will, let's see, how do I do this? I go here, and it makes music, probably over my voice, and I'll see you guys next time.